This video is sponsored by Envato Elements. Hey everyone, welcome back to my After Effects tutorial. Today, we are going to take a look at some 3D features of After Effects, using the inbuilt plugin Cinema 4D Lite. So let's get started. Open After Effects and create a new composition. I am calling it 3D After Effects. As always, I am using the 1920 by 1080 resolution at 30 frames per second, and my duration is 10 seconds longer. You are free to use your own settings. Before getting started, please follow this step. Right here in the composition setting, we have this 3D renderer option. Click on it, and make sure to change your renderer to Cinema 4D. It will allow us to work in a real 3D environment. And then hit OK. Now right-click in the timeline, go to the New, and choose Maxon Cinema 4D file. First, you need to save the Cinema 4D file, so make sure to choose a destination, as well as the file name, and then click Save. It will open up new software, which is called the Cinema 4D Lite. It comes pre-installed with your After Effects version. You don't have to pay anything for using it, but make sure to sign up on the Maxon website, and then log in here. Let's take a look in the After Effects first, so that we can understand what is happening here. It has created a new Cinema 4D file in the timeline, and the preset is applied to it. It is the same preset, which you can find in the Effects and the Presets, under the Cinema 4D. Right now, it is not showing anything, except this weird looking grid. This is connected with Cinema 4D Lite, and showing the viewport. In some case, if the Cinema 4D Lite is not opening for you, then simply go to the project window, and select your Cinema 4D file. Then go to the Edit, and choose Edit Original. It will pop right away. Let's take a look at the user interface of the Cinema 4D Lite. The grid looks familiar with the After Effects project window. This panel is called the viewport, where you are going to work on a 3D object. For navigating into the 3D scene, we have these bunch of icons here. This first one is the track. Just like the camera tracking in After Effects, it used to track your scene for getting a better angle view. All you need to do, click and hold on this icon, and then move your mouse. It will give you this nice and smooth tracking. The next one is called the zoom or dolly. You can get closer, or far away from your object. And the next one is rotation or orbit. You can rotate around your object, for getting a better look. The same can be achieved by using the shortcut keys. You can use the shortcut keys for making the workflow faster. We will focus on using the shortcuts in upcoming videos, so make sure to practice on it. Now right in the top, we have these bunch of icons. These are our designing tools. The first one is called Primitives. If you click and hold on this cube icon, you will find these bunch of icons. They are the basic 3D objects in Cinema 4D. Just like you have basic shapes in After Effects. Now, for adding any primitive into your project, simply release your mouse cursor on it. And it will be applied to the viewport. This is a real 3D object, which can be seen from a different perspective. The object you are creating should be in the center of this viewport. But this sphere is not placed in the center. So make sure to select it, and then down here in the bottom, change all the position to 0 centimeters. It will place the object in the center. Cool. One thing you may notice here, the sphere looks a little jaggy. It is not smooth, and a few edges can be seen very clearly. This is all because of the segments. Now, in a 3D design, everything is made with segments, lines and vortex. By default, the segments or the lines are not visible in this 3D object. But you can make it visible. If you go to the display, and click on this arrowed shading lines, it will show up the segments, or the lines on your object. You can also press the N key, to reveal all the shortcuts for displaying your object. If I press N, and then press any of the keys listed here, I can switch to a different view. And this is how the object will look now. Please note, these lines are for the reference only, they won't be visible in the final output. You can see, these lines are placed, at a distanced space. If you go right into the Attributes panel, which is showing here, then you can play with the settings of the selected object. Let's change the segment value to a higher number. I am using a value of 35. It will make the object much smoother. If you are going to use the close-up of the object, you can always crank up the value of the segment to a higher number. But adding unnecessary segments will take more time in processing, and it will make the workflow very slow. So make sure to use it only in a certain amount. Let's hide the lines, then you can see it is very smooth. Let's change the value of the segment to a lower number. I am going to use a value of 35, and it will work right away. Let's take a look at the different options now. If your object is selected, then you can see there are some arrows showing around your object. These arrows are similar to the arrows, which are showing right in this corner. These arrows are representing the axis direction of your object. If you rotate your viewport on a different angle, then these arrows will be rotated as well. It represents the position of our viewport, which will be helpful when you are designing a 3D model. Now right in this top, we have these bunch of tools. They can be used for several different works. The first one is the Move tool. After selecting the object, you can see we have 3 arrows around it. If you click on any arrow and move your cursor, it will move your object in the same direction. Let's undo that, by pressing the Ctrl Z, or Command Z, and move the object on another axis. I am clicking on this red arrow, which represents the X-axis. And if I move my mouse, it will move our object on the X direction. Now right between, there are some different arrows. These arrows work in combining 2 different axes. If I click on it, and drag my mouse, you can see I can move my object into a different axis. The same thing is going to happen with this arrow as well. Pretty useful. Let's move to the next one. This is the Scale tool. Select this tool, and it will show these cubes at the end of the arrow lines. Simply click on it, and drag your mouse, to scale any object you want. Now, if I press and hold the Shift key on my keyboard, and drag my mouse, I can switch between round figure value, such as 70, 60, and 100%. It is useful when you are going to change the exact value. You can also do the same with this property panel in the bottom. I can change the individual value, or all values, for making any change in the object. Let's change the X value to 0, for aligning it to the center. Cool. The next one is the Rotation tool. It also works the same way. Because we are using the sphere, so we cannot see the actual rotation. Let's go to the primitives, and use this cylindrical object. You can also use the shortcut keys, for switching between different tools. E, for the Move tool, R, for Rotation, and T, for Transform, or Scale tool. Let's place the object right here, and adjust the viewport. Select the Rotation tool, and then click on any of these lines. In this case, I am using the red line, or X-axis, for rotating. Press and hold the Shift key, to rotate the object at 90 degrees. The object looks fine, but there are some problems here. Let's rotate the y-axis as well, and this looks fine at first glance. But, if I select the Move tool, you can see the x-axis is no longer placed at the exact spot. Everything has been changed. It will be hard for us to manage this object later. Let's see how can we fix it. I am changing the rotation value to 0, so that we can start over. Let's see, how can we rotate this object? This is the Objects panel, just like the layers in After Effects. For making any changes, all we need to do is select the specific layer. If I am going to select the sphere, then the attributes of the sphere will be visible. Let's select this cylinder layer. By the way, if you click on this check mark, you can hide the visibility of the object. Most of the primitives come with the orientation option. You can change the orientation value according to your requirement. And the orientation of the arrow will remain the same. Cool. You can play with any of these settings. You can click on this upwards or downwards arrow, or simply drag your mouse cursor for changing the values quickly. The next one is the render button. If you click on this icon, it will show you the final output, which is going to be visible in our final render. There are other options here, such as the Spline Tool, which is similar to the Pen tool in After Effects. You can create custom shapes using the Pen tool, or use these pre-made splines. You can also make a 3D text by choosing this text spline. We will cover it in the next video. Right now we are only focusing on the basics, the Cinema 4D Lite. It is different from Cinema 4D. There are a bunch of options which is not available in the Cinema 4D Lite. So we will try to make things work, as much as possible in the Lite version. We are also going to use the other properties in our objects, such as bend, and explosion effects. It also supports many advanced lights, which will be used in our scene. Cool. Let's quickly see how can we add some colors to our object. In a 3D software, adding texture or color is known as the material. It defines the property of the object, such as plastic, metal, rubber, etc. For creating a material, simply double-click in this material area, or go to the Create, and choose New Default Material. It will show this sphere right here. Now double-click on it, and you can make the required changes. Let's rename this material as the basic, and then click on this color option, and change the color of it. You can use any color you want. We have just created the first material. All we need to do, apply it on our object. For doing that, simply click and drag it, and place it on your object. You can also go to the object window, and place the material on the individual layer. Cool. Let's apply the same material on the sphere as well. Let's make one more material. For making a duplicate for anything, press and hold the Ctrl or Command key on your keyboard, and then drag it next to the object. It will make the duplicate of it. Let's rename this as the sphere, and now double-click on it, and change the color of it. Of course, you can use any color you want. I am just focusing on the basics in this tutorial. We will make the better materials in upcoming videos. Now simply grab it, and drop it onto the object. And this is how it will look now. Not so much attractive. Make any required changes you want, and then we are moving to the After Effects, to see how it looks over there. Everything we have made in Cinema 4D Lite, is not showing here. You can also change the different rendered for view, but it won't visible anything. This is not a problem. All you need to do, simply switch back to the Cinema 4D Lite, then go to the file, and click on Save the project. You need to save the project, for making it visible in After Effects. And now I can see my objects. These are fully 3D objects, which can be controlled using the camera. In case your After Effects version is taking longer to show these objects, you can change the renderer to viewport draft, or anything showing here. It will load faster. Don't worry, these lines won't be visible in the final export. You can switch between different renderer, according to the speed of your computer. Cool. We also have the option for using the camera. You can even use the After Effects camera, and move it around the object. We will focus on these options in upcoming videos. Make sure to stay connected, and subscribe to my channel. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I will see you in the next one. Till then, good luck, and peace. Design video products faster, with Envato Elements. Get unlimited download After Effects template, stock footage, fonts, music files, and web templates. Visit the Envato Elements. Check the first link in the description.